But first, the Liberal Party's net zero woes continue today, as they will every day until a policy position is finalised. And maybe even beyond that, if the position turns out to be a fudge or something too clever by half. The National Party have said they're dropping net zero, no ifs, no buts, because why damage ourselves, they say, doing what no one else is doing other than rhetorically.
We believe that there is a cheaper, better, fairer way than Labor's $9 trillion net zero plan. And what that means is we'll peg ourselves with the rest of the world who are starting to pivot away from their net zero commitments and their achievements. And so what we've said is we're about 1.1% of total global emissions. And what we'll do is remain within that bandwidth.
As leader Susan Lee has indicated, the coalition has to hold together. So the sooner the Libs adopt what is substantially the same position as the National Party, the sooner the coalition can start pointing out the damage being done by Labor's obsessive pursuit of net zero at any cost on their rigid timetable. And this was something the new Liberal member for Cook did today against Labor's Darwin MP Luke Gosling, who had nowhere to go when confronted with the facts.
That's the first time I've heard a Labor MP commit to a 20% reduction in power prices. And look, I'd love to hear how they plan on doing that.
Renewables are cheaper. As there's more renewables in the system, power prices will come down.
But with respect, your job is to reduce power prices and you haven't done it. So if that's true, why did you and your mob promise $275 off power bills, but you have not been able to deliver it? Why did you do that?
How long are you guys going to hang on to that $275 piece?
I mean, can you believe that line from the Labor goose there? When are you guys going to give up on that? Well, I hope the Liberals never do. After all, this was an election promise from Labor that they repeated almost 100 times.
Reducing power prices by $275.
Reducing power prices by $275.
By 2025, $275 a year.
$275 a year.
I mean, clearly Labor can't bear to be reminded of that broken promise, given power prices have not dropped at all. Instead, they've increased 24% in the last financial year alone. The hit to power prices, the hit to the budget, the export of jobs and heavy industry, and the vast damage we're doing to our countryside, this is crazy. This is the desecration of wind turbines and solar panels. Imagine the fight the Liberals could actually have if they threw off the straitjacket of net zero. If they took the fight up to Labor, well, who knows, they might actually turn around their record low voter support. But not if they take their strategic advice from this bloke, Teal Liberal Senator Andrew Bragg from the well-heeled suburbs of Sydney with no skin in the game, because the only people he mixes with are those that are financially insulated from the realities of net zero and with no fear of a wind turbine next to their harbourside mansions.
We have to be in Paris and we can't be a pariah state. I mean, we're better than Iran and Syria and we're a serious country and the Australian people expect us to take emissions reduction seriously.
Iran and Syria? I mean, give me a break. Bragg's position is that the Liberals should do Labor's job, only do it a little better. His view that Australia would be a pariah state if it abandoned net zero is based on his assertion there that virtually every country has committed, he says, to net zero emissions. Well, absolutely wrong. China has never committed to net zero by 2050. India, not committed. The US under Donald Trump, well, certainly not committed. Russia, not committed. With 4 of the biggest national emitters not committed to net zero by 2050, none of them are pariahs on that account, I should add. Well, what's Bragg trying to do to bluff his fellow Liberals into sticking with the position that's helped them lose 2 of the last elections? All Paris commits countries to do is achieve net zero sometime in the second half of the century, which is very, very different to the snow job there from Bragg that he's trying to pull on Liberals who haven't done their own homework. Well, someone who has is his fellow frontbench colleague Melissa McIntosh. Now, she's not in the Senate, like Bragg. She's out in the real world. She lives in Western Sydney, represents people out there. It's a fair bit she talks to them too, because the other day she went out and did more than just talk to them. She got their views on net zero by sending out an electorate-wide survey. And what came back is a lesson for every Liberal who thinks that net zero's a vote winner.
This isn't politics. It's real-life struggles of everyday Australians who don't want a target that is destroying them and their families financially and our country economically. The people of Lindsay are not anti-environment. They are pro-reality, and they are a community that thinks for itself on issues that matter.
It's not as if any of this is new. I mean, the Liberals have oscillated between treating climate as a moral issue and treating it as an economic issue for almost 2 decades now. And every time they're focused on the astronomical cost of cutting emissions and clearly differentiated themselves from Labor and looked at what is really happening around the world, they've done well. Every time they've just Me Too'd Labor on climate and run the lines that Bragg's running, well, they've done badly. So get it right and get it right quickly, because the longer the coalition has to pin on Labor the consequences of its net zero emission, the better they'll do at the next election. As I said yesterday, that exchange, as I just said today, that exchange between Simon Kennedy and Luke Gosling was just embarrassing for Labor. So imagine how competitive the Libs might be if the net zero monkey was actually off the coalition's back. Because don't forget, net zero isn't just about banning fossil fuels from electricity generation. That's just the low-hanging fruit. It's about culling our national herd and changing the meat that you eat. It's about making you change your car. It's about limiting your air travel. It's about destroying our countryside. Dumping net zero is less a problem for the Libs than an opportunity, only if they're prepared to grab it.